What's going on, everybody? It's Kanye. Today's video, I'm going to be showing you just how broken the 6'10" builds are in NBA 2K24. Now, I've got three builds for you today. I've got one to play the 2s, one to play the 3s, and then one to play the 5s. Now, I will go ahead and preface this and say, obviously, any of these builds are going to be good in any of the settings. They're very good all-around builds, but I have one build that's best when being used in 2s, one that's best when being used in 3s, and then one that's best when being used in 5s. And I think you're going to see that all of them are very well-rounded builds. They're going to be very fun builds to play on. And yeah, since we got three builds to do here, let's go ahead and get started. Please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. If there's any builds you're wanting to see, like specific to a player or just a style of build, please don't hesitate to comment. It's really appreciated. So like I said, we're going to be making 6'10" builds today. Now, I do want to note I made all these at power forward. Obviously, you know, personal preference for you all. You can make them at center. You can make them at small forward as well. The 5s build actually is a viable center option, but I made it at power forward just because it is only 6'10". So yeah, obviously we said we're doing 6'10" builds today. So we're going to go height of 6'10". And I want to go ahead and say the first one we're doing is going to be the 2s build. So I'm going to do the 2s build, then the 3s build, and then the 5s build. So for the 2s build, you're going to be 6'10". You're going to take your weight down to 223. And then we're going to have that wingspan set at 6'10". So yeah, we do have, you know, shorter arms, but you're going to see that our shooting is going to be really, really incredible. So yeah, let's get into the attributes here. So for our close shot, it's going to go to 60. Our driving layup will go up to 80. Our driving dunk will go up to 89. And our standing dunk will go to 83. And our post control is going to remain at a 25. So as you can see here, we are an elite finishing build. 80 driving layup, I've discovered, is like a really good threshold in terms of just getting good animations and being able to still green your layups if you use the layup meter. Obviously, 89 driving dunk is going to get us a couple, you know, posterizer contact dunk animations, as well as the 83 standing dunk will get us some standing dunk animations, the contact standing dunks. So really well-rounded in the painted area, very good finishing build. But that's not all. Let's go ahead and move on to shooting. So for our mid-range, we're going to have a crazy 90 overall mid-range. And you can already see here the shooting badges on this build are insane. But to add to that 90 mid-range, we're also going to have an 86 3-ball. So we're going to have silver agent 3s on this 6'10". We're going to have pretty much all gold shooting badges minus limitless range. And I can tell you right now, as using this build, the silver agent 3s is really nice, and having all these badges on gold, it's really, really easy to shoot on. And then we're going to take our free throw to 83. So this is another example. This build I actually have used in Pro-Am before, the 83 free throw, so you can knock down your free throws. This build is very well rounded. Like I said, is this probably my preferred 6'10" and 2s? Absolutely, but I can use it elsewhere. Carrying on to the playmaking. And I know what you're thinking. This build definitely has to like fall off somewhere. I promise you it doesn't. So our pass accuracy is going to go to 77. That gets us bronze needle threader. So we're going to be able to pass the ball relatively well. And we can still throw those outlet passes with silver break starter. Our ball handle is going to go to 75. And then our speed with ball is going to go to 69. So you're going to see here, as of right now, and once we get our acceleration up, you're going to be able to see the badges a little bit more. But we're going to end up having handles for days. We're going to have big driver and things like that. And I'll show that again once we get here finished up with the attributes. To move on to defense. Our interior defense is going to go to 61. Our perimeter defense is going to go to 71. Our steal is going to go to 72. And then our block will go to 78. Our offensive rebound will be at 48. And then our defensive rebound is going to be at 83. So looking at this, we're going to have silver rebound chaser. You're going to have bronze anchor, pogo stick on silver. We do have bronze glove, bronze interceptor, bronze right stick ripper, so you can get steals. You know, obviously it's not at the level of a lock, but you can get steals. And we also have bronze challenger, which allows us to still get good contests on shots. Obviously, it's not overwhelmingly great defensively, but with all the offense, this is really, really good defensive attributes to have for as much offense as we have. You're going to be able to, you know, defend the perimeter. You're going to be able to pick off the occasional pass, even get a bump steal here and there. You're going to be able to protect the rim enough, and you're going to be able to rebound well with that 83 defensive board. And this is where I mostly decided that this build is a 2s build. Because you have the elite scoring, but you are good enough defensively that you can grab a rebound. You're going to be able to ISO against the other two's teams big, and you can defend him while also, if you get switched onto the guard, you have enough perimeter here to survive. But let's go ahead and finish up by looking at the physicals. So our speed's going to be a 72, acceleration is going to be a 65, our strength is going to go up to 74. Our vert is going to go up to 78, and then our stamina goes to 93. So you can see here, we do get that bronze handles for days. Looking back at the playmaking stuff, we're going to have Hall of Fame big driver, gold physical handle, bronze handles for days, bronze blow by, bronze killer combos, silver triple strike. So you're able to finish relatively well. We also get silver chase down artist and bronze hyperdrive. And then we've got silver box out beast, bronze bulldozer, silver fearless finisher, bronze immovable enforcer. So really, really good, well-rounded build, and it's a lot of fun to play with on the twos, or really any mode for that matter. You can score at an elite level but still play really good defense and grab boards. So yeah, this is our first build. I'll go ahead and show you the name of this one. So you're going to see here that we have made a 3-level threat. So obviously it's not the most exciting name in the world. There's probably some things you can tweak, but to me, this is the optimal version of this build. So 3-level threats, what we're going to live with. Rashard Lewis, Keegan Murray, Kyle Kuzma, kind of unique comparisons and pretty accurate for that matter. But let's move on, and we'll go ahead and go back here to the editor, and we're going to move on to the second build, which is the threes build. Now for the threes build, your height obviously is still going to be 6'10" because we're doing a 6'10" build video. Your weight's going to drop to 210. And your wingspan is going to stay at 6'10". So another short arm build, but trust me, it doesn't matter in the threes or the twos or the fives, because you're still 6'10", 6'10" wingspan is fine. So we'll clear off our attributes here. And to start, our close shot's going to go to 56. Driving layup's going to go to 70. Driving dunk will go to 89. Standing dunk is going to go to 83. And then post control stays at a 25. So a little less finishing. We don't have the 80 driving layup on this build, but the dunking side of things is the exact same. I made this one before I made the other one, and I like this one more in a different way, and you'll see why as we get further down the build. But I did decide to up that layup to 80 when I made the other build. You can still finish pretty well with a 70 driving layup. You're going to be dunking most of the time, so it's not that big of a deal. But that is the key difference between this build so far and the other one. Now, moving on to shooting. Your mid-range shot is going to go to 77. Your three-point shot goes to 86, and your free throw goes to 77. So you can see here we also have slightly less mid-range. The three-point is the same, so we don't have that 90 mid-range. We do have a 77, but the three-pointer is the same at 86. So slightly less shooting from the mid-range area, but that's okay because we're going to see where this build makes up for it going down into playmaking and defense. So your pass accuracy gets to go up all the way to 87. Your ball handle is going to go to 76. Your speed with the ball is going to go to 70. So this build's going to be a little bit better and a little bit quicker with the ball in his hands, and it's going to be an elite passer. I like this build on the threes because the 87 pass that gets you gold break starter, and you can throw dots off of rebounds. And then, obviously you can still score the ball and you can kind of ISO the other team's big. And the cool part about this build, if you make it at the 4 or the 3, is that it can play the wing effectively as well. And you're going to see that specifically when it comes to how we lay out the defense. So interior defense is going to go to 61, same as the other 6'10". Perimeter defense is going to go all the way up to 82. Steal is going to go to 60. Block is going to go to 78. Offensive rebound is going to go to 43. And then defensive rebound is going to go to 78. As for our physicals, well, let me talk about the defense real quick. So we do only have bronze rebound chaser. In threes, if you box out, you don't really need it. The three that I like having the perimeter defense on this build and silver challenger is that you can switch off onto the guard and be really, really effective. The 60 steal, you don't have the bronze glove and bronze right stick gripper, but you have the same bronze interceptor that the other build has, and you got it for a lot less. You still have your bronze anchor, but now you can switch onto the guard, and this is why I said this build was nice, is because if you pick up with 3 and someone brings a center and you get put at the 2 spot in the 3s court, you're not in trouble. You've got silver challenger. You can play good defense with an 82 perimeter defense, and you still got a good enough board to grab rebounds. And then not to mention, as we mentioned earlier, the passing and stuff. So we're really how this build stands out compared to the other one is that it's more versatile defensively, and it's got a way better pass accuracy. So this build can almost run as a guard in threes, but still be matched up with the big or matched up with the wing, and basically run the one. You could run a really big lineup with 2 other centers, like another stretch and a big center, and have this literally running your point guard spot in threes. And I've done it before, and it works really well. But let's finish up and look at the physicals. Your speed's going to be a 77, which, if we remember on the other build, the speed on the other build was much slower at a 72. So this build's a lot faster. You're playing full court, therefore that's why I like it for the threes. Your acceleration is going to go up to 70. Your strength is going to go up to 85. And again, this is another spot where we really like this build versus the other one, because 85, now you've got that silver immovable enforcer. You got silver brick wall, silver bulldozer, and silver box out beast. So you're stronger. You're going to be able to box out better to grab rebounds with that lower rebound rating, which is really useful. And now, you've got silver bulldozer, which helps you out with the lower driving layup, and silver immovable enforcer helps you out being a smaller big. Vertical is going to go all the way up to 84, and this is for the same reason. This is going to make it easier to grab rebounds with a higher vertical, and since we have shorter arms, having that higher vertical is really useful. And you're going to see here, just in the vertical tab, we do have silver chase down, silver post riser, silver rise up, and I will tell you, even though this build has short arms, I get blocks on it all the time. It's very, very good. And then lastly, we're going to put the stamina at 93. That's going to get us bronze handles for days and silver workhorse. So looking at this build, the reason it's better for threes: better playmaking, better pass accuracy to make full court passes. It's switchable. You can run the 1, the 2, or the 3 in threes on this thing, and that's why I like it for threes. Overall, between the 2 builds, it really, like I said, I love both of them. They're both versatile. You can use them in any mode, but I prefer the other build for 2s, and I prefer this build for 3s. And after making it, we're going to see what our player comps are. We get compared to LeBron, Keegan Murray, and Paolo Banchero. So Keegan Murray has been the consistent one so far between the 2, and this build is going to be called a diming inside-out threat. So 3-level threat. Now we got diming inside out threat. It's a little bit cooler name, not that different. But let's go ahead and get into the last build now. And this is the build, the 6'10 build that I prefer to use in 5s. So as we said before, 6'10". Weight is going to go to 223. And then your wingspan is going to go to 7'6". So this is our non-short wingspan 6'10 build. So if you're a guy that doesn't want the 6'10 wingspan, go up to 7'6". This is going to be the build for you because you're going to have that added wingspan while the other 2 did not. So let's go ahead and get into this. Let's clear our attributes out, and we'll start with finishing again. So close shot goes to 54. Driving layup goes to 70. Driving dunk goes to 89, as you probably expected. And then our standing dunk's only going to go to 75. Now you might be asking why I chose 75. It doesn't look like there's a badge cap there or anything like that. I chose 75 because Giannis contact dunks, or not Giannis contact dunks, but the Giannis dunk package requires a 75 driving dunk, I believe, and a 75 standing dunk. And that dunk package is really, really good. So I highly recommend on any big band build you make that can get the Giannis dunk package, get your standing dunk to 75 so you unlock that. Moving on to shooting. We're going to take our mid-range shot up to an 84. You're going to see that this is the cap breaker for that silver Deadeye. We also have silver blinders, so it's a really good spot to have that mid-range shot at. And then we're going to take our 3-point to 78. I know there's no badge difference between 76 and 78, but 2K Labs pointed out that a 78 3-ball is significantly better than a 76. There's like a window there. Lastly, we're going to take our free throw up to 78. That's going to allow you to hit free throws in 5s games. We wanted that high enough that we could effectively shoot the ball at the free throw line since we are playing 5s and there will be free throws taken. Pass accuracy, you're going to go to 77. Ball handle, we're going to go to 75. And then speed with ball, we're going to go to 66. And when you're not playing 2s or 3s, speed with ball is not as important. So we did go slightly lower than we would have on the other 2 builds. You also notice I mentioned how good the 87 pass accuracy was for the 3s build because you could throw full court passes. And then we have a 77 for the 5s build. And you're like, why? That doesn't make any sense. Wait till we get the defense upgraded here and you'll understand why this build is so good in 5s and what makes it special compared to the other 2. So our interior defense is going to go all the way up to 72, which is higher than either one of the other builds. Our perimeter defense is going to go to 39. Our steal is going to go to 81, so we have Silver Interceptor, allowing to play passing lanes in that 5-on-5 defense. Our block is going to go to 87, so we have Silver Anchor now instead of Bronze. And then our rebounding is going to go to 85 for both attributes. So you're going to be an elite rebounder. I know it's still just Silver Rebound Chaser like the other one, but you're also going to have Gold Box Out Beast, which makes it even better. So, as you can see here, this is by far the best defensive build, excluding perimeter defense, but since you're in 5s, you're not going to be really guarding the perimeter as a big, and this is why I said this build would be good as a center as well. But you have an elite ability to steal the ball, so you can pick off passes since you will be defending off ball, but then you can block shots and rebound really well. It's a great build defensively, and it's way better defensively than the other two, which is why I think it's better for 5s. Moving on, though, we look at speed. It's going to go to a 69. Our acceleration is going to be at a 65. Our strength will go all the way up to 84. Our vertical is going to be at 78. And then the remaining will go on stamina. So we look at this build versus the other builds, and you're going to see that the Gold Box Out Beast stands out in terms of rebounding. This is the best rebounding build by far between the 3. It's the best steal build in terms of getting steals by far between the 3. It's the best interior defensive build by far between the 3. Finishing slightly less, but not a noticeable difference between the other 2. Shooting, noticeable difference, but you can still hit all day with these shooting numbers. You can absolutely shoot all day with these shooting numbers. Playmaking similar as the 2s build, but the defense is where this one sticks out. And that's why I recommend using this one in the 5s. You don't have the scoring prowess of the 2 or 3 build that we made earlier, and that's why I keep this one in the 5s. Now, could you take this to 2s and 3s? 10,000%. But I like this build in the 5s because of the elite defense. And you're going to see that this build, in terms of the shades of our player comps, we're going to get compared to Amari Stoudemire, Evan Mobley, and Paolo Banchero. And so that can be assumed because the elite defense, we're going to be called a glass cleaning 3-level threat. So you've got our 3-level threat 2s build, our diming inside out threat 3s build, and now you got a glass cleaning 3-level threat for your 5s. If any of y'all do decide to try out these builds, please don't hesitate to drop a comment. Let me know, which one you tried, if you liked it or not. Did you change anything? Because obviously that too. I'm not making these builds to say this is how you have to do it. I'm just giving you guidance. Alter them however you want. But this is how I've made the builds to be the best for me. And you can use these as a template for you. And in the future, again, if you all have any questions or requests for builds, I'm happy to do so. It can be any height, it can be any play style. I'll try to do my best to make it meet your needs. And speaking of which, I'm real excited. I got a video coming up after this one. I'm going to be breaking down the community builds and giving them like a viable versus not viable, and then a rating out of 10 based on how fun I think it would be to play with it or how good it would be on the court. And this isn't going to be, that's not there to throw any shade at creators, but it's just from like a competitive standpoint. We all know that some builds are better than others. And so I want to give my opinion on that. And again, I want to reiterate, it's just my opinion. So please stay tuned for that video, as I'm really excited to put it out. But I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Please don't hesitate to like and subscribe, and I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.